Oh, in this particular video, I would like to tell you about how I survived stroke. And I feel guilty when I have to share certain parts of the things that happened in my life, because people will be saying like, yo, you went through a lot. I don't know why that doesn't sit well with me. I don't know, because I do not want to be looked as somebody that cries victim all the time. I don't want to play victim of circumstances and victim of people and victim of what. No, the aim of me sharing these pieces of things that happened in my life is to make somebody do know that there are such things that happen in life, number one. Number two, that you can survive it, and if you survive it, make the most out of it after survival. Like, don't sit there and feel sorry for yourself. That is the reason why I'm going to share this particular piece of how I survived the stroke. I was reminded by the certain pictures that I came across last week on Facebook. You know, hey, Facebook will remind you things, ne? I came across those pictures and I was like, wow, a can of worms was opened there. But I felt like, let me make this video. I've been planning to do this video so that I can get to share with someone out there to know that stroke can happen anytime. And after it, if you ever survive it, you must be thankful and don't sit there and be busy blaming people of witchcraft and this and that, and focus on that so much that you forget to live, you forget to make the most out of what happened to you. And whatever happens to you, remember, you survive it so that you can come and tell the story. So that is what I'm doing here. It's October 2016. I think I did elaborate in one of the videos as to what happened, what led to my stroke, but I'll give it in short right now. My daughter, the sexually abused one, was 15 at the time. And around, it was the second week of October, she went out to a birthday party of a friend. She was turning 60. The friend was turning 60. So I took her there, thinking that they are going to enjoy the birthday. And we agreed that I was going to fetch her at 8 p.m. And then 8 p.m. knocks. I decided, no, let me give them an hour some more before I fetch her. How after an hour I decide to go there and they are not there. I go and look for them. I find them and they are drunk. Fine. And then I came back with her and tried to be this African mother that's like, and then she takes out a big knife and says, take this knife, finish off what you started. You allowed me to be raped in your house, so you started killing me, so you better just finish off what you started. I got so hurt. It was on a Friday, and then a weekend passed, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No, I'm wrong. That weekend I had a terrible headache here on the head. I've been having a BP ever since I expected my first daughter. With my very first daughter, the reason why I gave birth through cesarean section was because of BP. I had what they call preeclampsia. I'll make another video where I talk about the dangers that happens during the pregnancy as well, kind of illnesses that you may get that endanger your life and that may require you to deliver through a C-section. So, and then after giving birth to her, it looked like it subsided, everything is normal. But when I expected the second child, it started again, and it was like continuous now. Even after giving birth, I had to stay on treatment. Fine. Then back to this particular weekend, I had a headache right here on top of the head. The headache was bad. It got bad Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I went to this particular doctor who was my family doctor that I entrusted with my life so much. I go there, and then he puts me on a bed, puts a drip on me, and he puts a certain medication. It's in a bottle, the type that you usually find in a hospital. He put me there on the bed there, had a sister putting a drip on me with that bottle, flushing that bottle into my body. That's how at least I got better. That headache was so bad that when I went out of the garage with the car going to the doctor, I bumped my mirror into the wall of the garage. The movement that I have done countless times, but that headache drove me to damage my mirror into the wall. Fine, that's how bad it was. Man, the headache was so bad, like I felt like I should just close my eyes, because the minute I opened my eyes, it got worse. So that's how he ended up putting me on the bed and putting the drip. And then I felt like I was better. He kept me there for 4 hours. My BP was high. He kept me there for 4 hours, and then after 4 hours, he released me and said, I may go home. Fine, I go home, and he books me off for the whole week. I go home, I sleep. The following day is a Tuesday. Hey man, I got so bad. But the headache is no longer that much as in the previous day, but it's still there. And then in the afternoon, I'm sitting on the lounge, on a sofa, and I feel very strange. I just felt very strange. The strangeness that I cannot explain. I can't even explain how it was, but man, I felt very strange. And I decided that let me call, I called a friend, or I called my cousin, I can't remember, but I called one of them, and then I called an ambulance. And I could not even finish that call, man. I felt like, my tongue, there's something that's wrong now in my tongue. I felt like I was not audible enough, and I felt very frustrated by what is happening now with my tongue. Like it felt like it's full in the mouth, like man. And then my daughter took the phone and ended the call, like ended up the conversation with the ambulance. And they promised that they were coming. Fine. In the meantime, some of the friends arrived, because I can't remember. I think my daughter called others as well. And the ambulance came. Hey, when they came, they took the vitals. And by the time they come, strange enough, I don't feel any pain anymore. No headache, nothing. But that strange feeling, and I feel like I've got no energy. I can't lift up my hands, and this one was worse. I could not lift up this hand. I could not lift up the leg. Nothing says to me like, hey, this is stroke. Nothing. And I'm fully conscious. I'm fully aware of what is happening. They come, they take the vitals, and they are like, I think you've got too much stress. I'm talking about ambulance people now. Netcare 911. They told me like they think I've got stress. Like, really? And then what? And I told them I want to go to the hospital because I felt like I needed to go to the hospital. And they refused. They told me that I need to go and lie down. My vitals are okay. And my BP is a little bit high. It's not that high. They checked my sugar. They said my sugar is fine. The blood sugar is fine. The vitals are fine. I must just go lie down. And I insisted. You know what they did? Hey, some of the things I know, they feel like I'm making them up, because sometimes I sometimes think like, did that really happen? Myself, I ask myself that, did that really happen? Those people decided they were not gonna bring in the stretcher, whereas I was telling them I can't walk. I can't even lift up my arm, and I'm weak. Nje. Generally, I was weak. No, they said we will support you, both sides, and they did. 2 guys from Netken and on one, they supported me this side and that side, and I could not walk. They thought, they were like, I'm like, I can't. Because I was dragging, this food was like draggable. It was dragging. I could move at least this one. This one was just like dragging. I could not. And nothing says to me like this is stroke or anything along those lines. They put me in the ambulance, pushing me, pulling me to the end. And I could tell that they are. You know, when people think you are acting, when people think like there's nothing wrong with you, you are just wasting our time. That's how they handled me. That's how they treated me. They put me in the ambulance. I get to the hospital. When they get there, the shock they had when the sister told them that I've got TIA. Okay, what is TIA? TIA is TIA is transient ischemic attack. Transient ischemic attack is a temporary period of symptoms similar to those of a stroke. And a TIA usually lasts only a few minutes, and it doesn't cause permanent damage. Often it is called a mini stroke. TIA, it's a warning towards the stroke. Ne? Yes, I'll put in this explanation. Yes. Okay. Now I'll put in this explanation of TIA. Fine. Herman, and many people do get TIA. Now I can't even ask the sister what is TIA, because the way I was feeling, I was weak, couldn't talk, my tongue was like, and the simple way to see a person if they're getting a TIA, you just ask them to smile, because the sister said please smile, and I could not. You can't smile. With TIA, you cannot smile. You can't smile. Even if a person says, please try and smile. Like it's yo, agwenzeki. Okay, fine. And then I get admitted. And then overnight, I get checked up. The following morning, my family comes. My mom, my brother. I can't remember other people that were there. But I just remember that my principal from the school I was working at was there, the female principal. At that time, before the male principal took over, the female principal was there with other staff members and his deputy, and he brought my learners. There were, I can't even remember, I think there were 4 or something. I was so happy when I saw them, and I remember these girls praying for me. They just prayed and prayed. I'm talking about the learners now. They came in and prayed and prayed and prayed. And remember, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, you should not be prayed by someone else. They are the ones, they are the only ones that must pray. So my mom was there, and my other relatives who are Jehovah's Witnesses were there. They were very irritated that these learners were praying for me. Okay, they prayed. After they just prayed, I complicated right there. I don't know what happened. I felt like now something very heavy was sitting on me. It's like something was sitting on me. I felt the heaviness that I could not explain. I don't even know how I alerted everyone that I am not well. I am like complicating. But they just saw, and like people were cleared out, and they checked my BP. It had shot now. By that time it was over 200, and then I had a stroke now, not a TIA anymore. I had a stroke. I was rushed into ICU. I stayed in ICU for 2 days. And the sister, while I was still there in ICU, one of my friends who happened to be a nurse decided to tell a sister, because in ICU, in private hospitals, you are assigned a nurse. That nurse is just your nurse in ICU. Like, they don't guard anyone else, they just guard you. So this a friend of mine that is also some cousin, we relate somehow, she told this nurse, this assigned nurse, and I think she thought that I was not hearing. And in there I was listening to everything, I was hearing everything, but I could not respond. Oh, I forgot to explain that now I could not talk. I don't know, my speech was badly affected for that 2 days. I think even more than 2 days. I was even scared. I remember asking my doctor, because my doctor, the one that had given me a drip at his surgery, did come to see me. And I remember I managed to ask him that, will I be able to talk again properly? And he said yes. And I could see, like, when you see a person is assuring you, but they are scared themselves. I've never seen my doctor that scared. He was scared. He was scared to a point where, long after, when I go, even now, when I go to his surgery, he forever says to me, you are a miracle, Shem. I've never thought you can recover this much. So apparently I was lucky that the second stroke happened while I was at the right place in hospital. Had the second stroke, because the first one was just a minor stroke, it was not gonna last, it was not gonna have any permanent damage. But mere fact that I was at the right place and I got treatment as soon as possible, and it wasn't that severe, so at least I stood better chances of surviving. And I had to attend physio after that, but they also did discover, like I said, my friend who happened to be a nurse told my assigned nurse in ICU that actually what is eating me is this and this and this, and she told her almost everything as to what was bothering me. And then that is when I got out of ICU, the first thing they did for me was to find me a psychologist that came to see me while I was still in hospital. So after being released from the ICU, I was taken to high care for a few days. I can't remember how many days, but I was in high care, and then it took some days again for me to go to the normal ward, and the psychologist was brought in while I was in the a normal ward now. And they arranged that I, from the hospital, go and check into a mental institution, mental hospital, psychological hospital. Yes, I checked in there. It's called KQ in Vereeniging. I checked in there after being released from the hospital, and it helped a lot. It helped a lot. I made so much progress, and I think that's how I could make proper recovery, because I was attending physio, also being at the right place, and I fully recovered, guys. I fully recovered so that I can come and talk, so that other people, other women, sorry, I survived so that I can come and warn other women that we need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our mental health. We need to take care of the problems that we have. Don't leave them unattended. Don't think they will just fly away. Deal with them as they come. And I also survived so that I can tell women, we need to speak up. Speak up. Don't die in silence. Do not die alone. Speak up. There will be people that laugh. Yes. There are people that do not like you anyway, that will be happy when they hear something bad about you. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Karma will deal with them. But when speak up. Speak up. Nothing will eat you. When you speak up, those who laugh, they are just calling karma from whatever corner it was, where it was sitting and idling. They are bringing it closer to themselves. It's fine. So do not keep quiet. Do not suffer in silence. Speak up. I survived stroke. You can survive any other thing that comes your way. My favorite. Look at these two pictures. These were taken where I'm lying on the bed. It was a day before I was discharged, and there in the car is the following morning on my way home from the hospital, en route to the to the madhouse. Is I went to the psychiatric hospital. So in the car, I was on my way to the psychiatric hospital, and look at the progress I made since then. You know, one other thing that I want to tell you, while I was in that hospital bed, I prayed. I could not sleep. I remember that those 2 days, I think if I had slept, I must have slept, just because and you sleep in one position, you face up, because they put up so many machines on you, and your movement is very, very limited. You can't even face whatever way you want. I was praying. I've never prayed in my life like I prayed there, and I made bargains with God and asked Him to spare my life, just so that I can come and take care of my children, and so that I can come back and fight for my daughter. That is when I came back from the mental institution. Yes, KQ, psychological hospital. Yes, baby. When I come back from there, I was determined like never before to find justice for my daughter. And I included her in the process. When I was doing so, I was telling her every motion as to They said this. I was recording some of the conversations that I can. All the conversations that I could, I recorded so that I can play them back to her, because she would be at school sometimes. Sometimes I would just feel like she shouldn't be there in person, because people are like, they don't understand, they underestimate victims. When the victim wants to be there, the victim wants to be there. Don't tell the victim that, hey, she shouldn't be here, she's a child, she's a child. She's a child, but she's a child that this thing has happened to her. And that was the problem that I was discovering most of the time. Whenever I would go to the police and find this, they'll be like, who's this? I'm saying this is the victim. They say, no, Kingwana, remember she was 15. No, she shouldn't be here, she shouldn't be here. But she is the victim and she wants to be here. So I solved that, because now I will be taking lots of time arguing with them, and they ended up saying I am crazy. Guys, at Vereeniging police station, they know me as the crazy woman, just because I fought tooth and nail for justice for my daughter, and as a result they jeopardized the case on purpose now, because the IO was supposed to be charged, and unfortunately it's alleged that the IO was in a relationship with the colonel that was the unit manager. So she was covering up for him, and she started a rumor that I am mentally unstable, and they filled up the story of I am mentally unstable to a point where nobody took me seriously. I had to go to Pretoria. I did go to Pretoria. The case was reopened, but unfortunately, these people took away the only physical evidence there was. They destroyed the physical evidence. So as a result, my child's case could not move forward because of that. It was destroyed because of that. So I ended up, I dealt with it thoroughly so much that I believe that I so believe that I did everything, and my daughter saw me fighting for her. It took me everything to understand that, okay, I must give up. So I gave up. It will find its justice whenever it finds justice. Am I satisfied? No. I wish my daughter and myself could get justice, but I wanted justice for her more than I wanted justice for me, because this guy, to this day, I still don't understand. This guy, to this day, I still don't understand why, if he had whatever style that he felt he needed to explore with me, couldn't he just tell me that let's try this? Instead of having me being a log, why would he want me to be dead before he can do whatever that he did with me? I don't know. Maybe that's how he enjoys it. There are people that enjoy sleeping with dead people. They find pleasure sleeping with people that are dead. And then there are people that find pleasure in sleeping with people that cannot respond. That's why they would make sure that they put things in your alcohol so that you are dead, so that they do whatever they do with you. So maybe he is that kind. I will never get answers. At some point, I had to admit that I'm never gonna get answers that I'm looking for. Otherwise, I'll stop living, trying to dig and find answers, which I may never get. Or I had an option to stop digging and start living, and I chose to start living just for the purpose of my children. That's what I did, and it's not easy, but it's doable. Here I am, survived stroke. I survived that whole setup. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please share, like, and leave a comment in the comment section. And Watch out for the next videos that will come after this. Thank you so much. Bye bye.